Alright, folks, welcome back to the Boys and Green YouTube channel. It's time to start our preview for the massive game on Saturday. That's right, it's the Celtic Rangers, it's the Glasgow Derby. Before we get started, if you want to like and subscribe, you can also get us on X at the Boys and Green YT. But as the title reads, it's the build up for the massive derby on Saturday. I'm joined by Alistair to get it right and about it. How you doing, Alistair?
I'm good, thanks, Josh. Yourself?
I'm alright, aye. Um, we may as well just start, obviously, with the game at the weekend, pretty briefly, and then we'll move on to the whole derby chat because it's kind of in the background now, the game against Hearts. But, Alistair, what did you think it?
I thought it was as close to a perfect performance as you would get, Josh.
I thought it was good.
I know
I
we,
thought we,
I know we started slowly, but we won it comfortably in the end, and at the end of the day, it was 3-0 and 5 or 6 towards
aye.
the end there.
No, I
So
think we had that chance. In the opening minutes, Hearts, and it could have been a different game if Hart didn't pull off that tremendous save. Um, for me, he's now firmly for the in-house Player of the Year awards. I think he's has to be up there now because he's single-handedly getting us to this title. It seems at times, but I thought, I just thought the atmosphere was a lot better on Saturday. I thought, there was a bit of a buzz around the place. Um, I think maybe because we're getting to the end and we know it's the business end of the season. Obviously, we get this big game coming up on Saturday, but just coming walking up to the game, I just felt a different buzz. And the atmosphere was pretty good. Compared
yeah,
to sometimes inside Celtic Park, I'm a bit stale, but I thought it was really good atmosphere, and the players kind of fed off that. And then
yeah. So I think that a realization from from fans certainly when we reset. I never noticed any moaning or on Saturday.
there wasn't any.
It's anyway.
There wasn't any people getting stressed. Like there wasn't any, maybe I think because we got the early goal, I think that really helped. I think it'd be a different story if it gets to 70, 80 minutes and it's still 1-0. But I don't think there was ever any risk as if it got to. I know it's easy to say the now, but I don't think there was ever any risk of us losing that game because I thought we were in a good control of it. Hart didn't really have a lot to do. I thought, for me, the midfield started a bit slowly, but they grew into the game as well. Um, and the captain looked back to his best as well, which was obviously good to see as well.
I mean, I don't know about you, but the tackle that he made got one of the loudest cheers I've
It's
ever
fantastic,
heard
man.
in my life, apart from a goal.
Aye, no, definitely. I think because we've in the last few weeks, I'm not saying thinking the worst, but I think it's Callum McGregor is Celtic have got this habit of burning out players. We've seen it with Kieran Tierney, and obviously Kieran Tierney's had a lot of problems since he's left Celtic. Um, and you're thinking, is Callum McGregor a wee bit burnt out? But it was just good to see him put something like that in, so close to the game that he normally excels in, um,
Yeah.
which is obviously the derby. So I think it was good to see him back to his best. Obviously, the wee man getting 2 goals as well, Kyogo getting 2 goals. Thought it was really good, just warming up as usual. But um,
The
so
turning point in the game for me, Josh, need to mention this. The save for Cammy Devlin.
aye,
What
definitely what a
a
save it was.
save that was.
Aye,
Yeah. And we had me and you kind of sat next to each other. We had one of the best views in the stadium in that save.
what a
You
save it
can
was,
just,
man.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
no, I think
Fair
overall it was
play.
a good performance because Hearts after that really didn't really trouble us. Shanklin never really done much. Probably one of his quietest games against us, which is always a good thing because
Well,
what Shagler
quite
can offer.
quiet in terms of shots at goal, but no to try it in other things. I mean, he
He's
played
put,
netball, trying to catch up with his hand.
I was kind of surprised I never been sent, but I don't get sent off for that. But so be
Yeah,
it.
I mean,
But
it was blatant.
it was a handball. I
But
think even he knew it because I remember I watched it in sports scene after when I got working home on Saturday. And I think you could see by his face it was a blatant handball. And the
yeah,
fact I don't know, I don't know if it is. Did the referee miss it? I don't know. Is the referee? This is what my thing with VAR is. I'm not going to give him a bit of VAR rant, but I just want to quickly touch on it. Is this the thing now with VAR though? Because they're thinking, well, if I miss it, oh, well, I'll just
VR
I,
will
I,
bail me out.
I'll, if I don't know if he actually did miss it. He's just like that. Right, I'll just let it go, and if VAR tell me, then we can go and have a look at it anyway. So
That's what VR's for.
I know that's what it's for, but I still think it's devoiding referees of making decisions on their own.
Responsibility, yeah, completely
Um,
agree.
but I thought it was a good performance. We get the 3 points and what we came for, and it's just another game ticked off the list. I think I don't know if it was just me, but again, I wasn't worried. But we were all at the Hearts game at home, and a few months ago, and it wasn't pleasant. So it was
Yeah,
just
it was a
really good
low
to get
point. It was a very, very low point.
really low. So it was really good just to get the 3 points and just keep it going. To
I was I was genuinely going off on a tangent here. I was genuinely thinking about that game before the Hearts game, the
aye,
previous one at home, and I'm thinking, would that been my top five shit games to go to? It probably would have been.
and you've
That's
been
how
to
bad
probably
I
hundreds
thought
of
that
shit games, so that
was.
says a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
no, but I think it's important that we just keep going with the game ahead of us. So a lot of people were focused maybe on Rangers, but I was like, just get Hearts out of the way. And it's the same after we beat if we beat Rangers or if we get a draw or a positive result, which I believe we can, and I believe I'm not going to say will, but I believe that we can go there and get a positive result. Um, it's just about getting, and people are saying, obviously, I think if we do beat Rangers, you've got a hand and about four fingernails in the trophy. I'd say.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I'll put my cards on the table. I think if we won on Saturday, I'll treat it as a clincher
aye,
because there's no way we would lose it for there. That's
aye. I don't,
absolutely no
I,
way.
I I don't think we would either. I think, but so I think the Hearts game just to obviously end off. I thought it was good just to see a good. It was good to see a good 60 odd minutes, no a good 45 minutes where it was just 45 minutes were really good, and then because that was my fear. I thought 45 minutes we're going to come out and we're going to be absolute rotten, but for 60, 70 minutes,
I
I thought we
was
were
I
spot
was
on.
really impressed with the game management,
Aye,
Josh, and and Saturday because over the last 2 3 games we have been rightly so criticised for game management, and I, that's what impressed me most about
hmm
Saturday. I
I know.
mean,
I think I've aimed at a lot of the team this season.
yeah,
I think for some of the results with no goat or draws against Kilmarnock and stuff like that. I think if game management's better, I don't think the results happen. But aye, so I think overall good performance and it was a good 3 points, and I think that's all you can really say about it. Obviously then that leads his own. Then off week it's been up, and then see to be honest, we after that full time whistle goes, everybody's focus. You can tell in the ground, everybody's focus shifts completely to this game this weekend. Obviously, an absolute massive game. Derbies are massive, but this has a lot riding on it. We said about the last derby, it was probably you know critical, but I think this one, if not matches it, I think is even more critical. I think where the league title could
yeah,
end up this season. I think Celtic obviously you'd say probably getting favourites, with home advantage and stuff, and I think we've got a lot of good players back, and players for Rangers. A lot of players for Rangers are out, so you probably say Celtic going favourites, but obviously that means nothing. Alistair, you've been a lot of derbies and whatever, but what's your feelings? What's your feelings ahead of it? How you do you listen to a lot of
Um,
the build up, or do you just kind of
no, I try and blank it out, Josh. I mean, I, I personally don't like the build up. I'd rather get it out the road
mhm,
and just do my talking on the park.
aye,
I mean, I mean, sometimes you can't avoid the build up, but I don't go out my way to listen to phone ins. Even podcasts, I try and blank it out because you find on the day, Josh, that that you find on the day stressful enough without listening to 5 days or 6 days of build up. It just doesn't do it for me. What is
aye.
it you do? Are you a bit like that, or do you try and blank
Nah,
it?
if I'm being honest, I don't really. I'm not a big believer in the build up and all that. I'm like you. I just want the game, and I want I'd like the game tomorrow at this rate, but so that's no can't have it tomorrow. But I think for me anyway, I don't really like the build up. Yeah, I just want to go there and get the result. And it might come across that I don't sound really too confident. I'm always like that. I'm never really. It's not I'm never like confident in anything, but
Well,
I just want to
well,
see.
the
I
thing
want to see
is,
what's in front of us.
you I don't know about you, but I would see in Saturday one lose or draw at the end of the day, and I hope a lot of people remember this. Even if we lose, the league isn't lost.
Hmm.
It'll feel like it, but let's be honest, it's a bit over the 3 games. We've got 3 games to go,
Aye.
although I'll feel like it. But at the end of the day, Josh, we'll put ourselves in a great position, and and we all know what it means. So you
No,
don't
like
need to
that.
fan flames saying it's going to be or lose your shit a bit. It's going to be fun. Although if it was up to me, after Saturday if Celtic won, I'd say welcome to the House of Fun would be a good DJ choice to put
Aye.
on after the game. But
I think if we did lose it, it would make it very difficult. I'd say.
nervy,
It,
nervy.
it, I'd say even more than nervy if I'm being honest, because I think that then it comes into goal difference and stuff, and it's who can score more goals. You
Yeah.
really don't want it to come down to that sort of stuff. Me personally, I want either
And
a
especially
draw or a
when
win.
these people to come on.
Aye, especially Kilmarnock, and they've got Dundee at home, which I don't. You don't know these. You don't know this season. That's the thing, but you would probably expect him to rack up, a decent amount of goals. Probably. I don't. Well, that's no disrespect
Yeah.
to Dundee. I know they got a result last time, but I'd probably fully expect them, especially if they get a result. They did get a result on Saturday, but I think if we can get at Celtic Park, get a positive result. Obviously, I want to beat them. That's the main thing. But I think a draw is no the end of the
George,
world
if you
either.
can't win it, don't lose it.
Aye, definitely.
I think
Um,
that is where we're at.
so like obviously, well, you know, they've no beaten us this season either. We're unbeaten and stuff like that. We had the game back in September, the 1-0 game at Ibrox. Then we had the game just close to like New Year at Celtic Park. We beat them 2-1, and then we had the 3-3 draw, the famous mentality winners or moral winners derby as they call it. But
That's going to come back and bite a certain manager in the bum if that ends up ends up one being the point that wins the league.
well,
I put
hopefully,
the
but aye.
definition.
So I think Celtic fans have got every right to get confident. I think we're in a lot better place than we probably were, especially in September, because in September was just a stopgap of a team, to be honest.
I'll be
And
honest, the one in September, I don't know about you, but I actually seen in the full time whistle went, I burst out laughing. I went, how have we done that with that team?
aye, no, but I think I think if you compare the team to now, we've got Vickers there, Hatati's there. We're going to probably we're going to
Oh,
have
they're all there.
we're
They're
going to have
all
a full
there.
strength team. So for me, for Celtic and Saturday, there's absolutely no excuses for us to go and get a positive result. Now I understand form go out the window, and it's not just as easy as turning up and getting a positive result. But and this might come back and bite me, but Celtic at a full strength side, I've got a better team than Rangers, and that's just for me that's fact. But that could come back and bite me in the backside, and
Where
that's
is
fair
it
enough.
this sorry, where is it they say mid where is it they say derbies are won? Midfield.
Midfield.
And see, to be honest, our midfield and their midfield is a no contest. It's
Aye.
absolutely a no contest.
I don't think it's who's better technically. I just think with these derbies, it's cliched that the contest is who wants it more. So if they and this is what I would say about the Celtic team, and I'm not having a go at the Celtic team here, but you need to be on them since from minute one. You need to start the game with a good intent. I think you'll tell within the first 10 minutes how the game's going to go. I think you're going to be
I'll
able to
com-
tell.
I'll compare it to Rodgers' first spell. You remember when we drew one each at Celtic Park?
Aye,
Stuart
Armstrong scored.
Armstrong
I think.
scored our goal, and then we played them in twice in 2 weeks. We played them in a Scottish Cup semi final, and then the very next league game at Ibrox, we
I
went to
remember it.
four with them. And that's personally, as a Celtic supporter, that's what I'm hoping for this time because I think if Rangers fans have been honest with themselves, know that they're listening to this, they got away with one at Ibrox. I mean, we should have been out of sight in that
And I
first
think
half.
that's another important point because at Ibrox, it was the 45 minutes superb, but the second half we were you could even see in the second half we got away with one at times, man, because
Yeah, yeah.
we were really bad in that second half, and that cannot happen on Saturday. We need to be at them for 90 minutes, man. We
We
need to be. We need
we
to
di-
be.
we died to death in the second half. I mean,
The team just looked at their feet.
yeah,
I would hope with a rejuvenated Cal McGregor back that would because
yeah.
let's be
Well,
honest,
did
hopefully
Rogers, did Brendan Rodgers not say in that press conference after that game, Hatate will be fitter, McGregor will be fitter, and
aye.
uh, and we'll have CCV will be fitter, and hopefully that's what we're building up for on Saturday, Joy.
Well, I hope for and it's just this is why I'm not a big fan of build up because I'm more a get in the grunt and I want to see with my eyes what they've been doing. I don't like all this talking and it seems every day just seems to drag on. You're kind of counting the days, to be honest.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and so it's kind of like you're kind of like can't come quick enough, really, can it? So
yeah,
um,
yeah. I think, I think the only thing that I've got a slight worry, and I'm confident you know that, Josh. I've told you that privately. But the only thing that kind of worries me is, and please don't misunderstand, folks, what I'm saying when I say this. Rangers have kind of got nothing to lose. I
because a
mean,
lot of their fans are
if
they
we if
resonated
we
that
if we're drawing or winning the game, they can just go hell for leather. Whereas we're about 20 minutes to go. If it's the game's drawn, do we stick or do we twist?
I'd
You're
stick.
kind of caught between
But at
two
the same
stools
time,
then, really.
it's weird because I don't believe that you should play for a draw in a derby. I think you either win or lose it. But Maybe that's
Yeah.
just how derbies work. Really, I don't. So that's been
But I'm
interesting.
saying,
But
what if you're in that position with about 10 minutes to go and you're drawing? Do you do you stick or do you twist?
ask me that at the game after on Saturday. Maybe we'll give you an answer. Depends how
Yeah, I will do.
intoxicated I am.
I
But
will do.
um, no, I think it's going to. I think it is going to be tighter than a lot of people are expecting it to be. Because I've seen on Twitter and that people are entitled to their opinion. That's perfectly fine, and people on Twitter they're entitled to their opinion and stuff, and that's why I kind of just try and no stay off Twitter because I still go on Twitter or X or whatever, and I still kind of look at what people are saying, but a lot of people are saying, "Oh, boy, they wipe the flare and we're going to score 3-4," and you're like,
Yeah.
just calm down, man. And it's not because I'm not confident, but I'd take a 1-0 win now, man. I would. And
At this at this time of year, you very rarely are going to get 4 and 5s.
aye, and
I
don't get me
mean,
wrong, I'd love Celtic to beat Rangers by as many as they
yeah,
can, but and
another Edward, Forrest,
and
and Rogic and McGregor throw would be nice,
but they derbies are going to be very hard to come by. I don't think you're ever going to. No, so I'm not going to say ever, but
yeah,
you're going to very rarely get them because when they 5-0s were happening, I'm not taking it away from Celtic here either. State of that Rangers team, man. Fuck, you had
yeah,
Hodgson, Hill, and all these jobbers, man. So
yeah.
don't get me wrong, it was a great time because your
The
rivals at the end of
banter
the day.
years, the banter
Aye.
years, mate.
Um, but I think it's just important that we go. And I know Celtic won't be listening to what people. I'm pretty sure Brendan will have them focused on what the task in hand is, and that's beating Rangers. Brendan
Yeah,
obviously came out and spoke today and says he was pretty. He basically came out and says you see the best version of Celtic. So he seemed pretty confident that Celtic would go and get the job done, which obviously Brendan Rodgers
I,
is a pretty
I
confident guy.
don't
So
see, I don't see an in-house interview as being uh of course he's going to be confident. He's not going to say we're going to get beat, things like that. But all I would say is the in-house interviews tend to be walking cliches, or the boys will be up for it, etc.
aye.
and and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know what you think, Josh, but for once, I think the team picks itself.
Aye, well, we're going to probably team selection later in the week because we've still got the podcast to come on Friday as well, which obviously Nathan
Aye,
will
right,
be
aye,
joining us for that as
aye,
well. So we'll discuss team selection
yep,
probably then. This is more just to start the kind of build up. I
mm.
can't know speak about it, but what have you made about the whole fun carry on? Because I just think this is something that's just
A
it's good for
hornet's
news.
nest.
It's good for news and it's good a bit of feistiness. I think it's quite good to be honest, but you want that with a derby week, like and stuff like that. Fans, something for fans to talk about on both sides.
My personal opinion, I don't believe Brendan Rodgers was taking the piss out of Rangers. I also don't believe. I think personally, um, I think it's their manager trying to stoke up a fire to motivate his own team. To be honest with you,
I think I was listening to radio and I can't remember who said it. I'm pretty sure it was one for Super Scoreboard. I can't remember who, in fact, but basically they said, I don't know if Clement's now went to this siege mentality stage where he's going to his team talk on it, and I'm not going to lie. When Rogers said it, I kind of gritted my teeth together because I was a bit like, you shouldn't. But
really.
because I'm quite simple that way. I just want the team to do talking to part and Celtic do that. And I'm not saying Brendan Rodgers says anything out of line. I don't think he did. I think it was made. It
I
was
think it's a mountain out of a molehill. To
it
be
was
honest
bro-
with you,
it was blown out of just extreme proportions, and Clement seemed to take major offence to it for some apparent reason when always. I'll even just read the quote what he said because Rogers basically said, "Mentality, we're in a good place. Next Saturday we'll have a bit of fun." What I'm interpreting in that is there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And Clement has seemed to found something wrong with that. Now, if he has,
It's a
that's
guy
fine.
that it's a guy that's throwing mud at a dressing room, hoping something sticks.
Aye,
And see, to be honest, if 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 the last five Rangers managers come out and said that, the media would have a field day.
aye.
It's only because he's in the door, and and basically there's been this narrative round Clement that he's done well, but has he really?
Yeah,
Really?
I'd say where he's. I'd say where Rangers were because I don't think Rangers could get any worse. He's stabilised them and he's done well to get them into this position because and I understand a lot of that was self inflicted by us by Celtic, but I think he's still won them League Cup, and I'm not I still think the media narrative has been a bit wrong because I
They're
think
both alike, I would say.
when Rodgers was under pressure, Rodgers was getting lambasted, and that's sometimes Rodgers. I think, in my opinion, sometimes Rodgers makes that for his own back with some of the stuff he comes out with, but that's just Brendan Rodgers for you sometimes. But you know,
He's been a bit. He's been a bit. At times I've thought, oh, Brendan, I wouldn't have said that. But
I think he's been a bit overzealous. That's what I would say.
yeah,
Even at the start of the season with the CMA comment, I was a bit like Brendan.
although
Nah,
you do know that'll be on t-shirts,
no,
hopefully.
don't get me wrong. It's if it works out well, we win the league. Every, including myself, will be like pure
Told you,
loving it and all that.
told
But
you.
so I think Clement has done a decent job. I don't think he's done as good a job as everybody's making out to be. And I think he's been under pressure the last few weeks with the results against Dundee and Ross County, and then obviously
Josh, he's done the bare minimum, really. I mean, he come in and we were 7 points ahead.
aye,
Come Saturday, hopefully, we're 6 points ahead. So he's done the bare minimum.
I know.
He's made them
It's
competitive. That's what he's done.
aye, he's made them competitive and he's got them back at a title race. But I, I don't get the comments. I don't get why he's offended by them. I don't understand it. This was the same manager. Now I understand he came out after and shook his horn, who stormed in the tunnel after the defeat to Ross County.
Yeah,
Then
and
then
on you
called
go.
called Dundee lucky. Then he also came out and said about the this mentality of winners and all that because they drew
Moral
three each
winner.
against
Moral
moral
winner.
winners. They drew three each against Celtic. So I do I would say calling Dundee lucky and no shaking a manager's hand. I understand he came out after it. Still not the point. That's
You
more
went up
disrespect.
that tunnel. And see, be honest, Josh, um, maybe I'm going to speculate. If the result doesn't go his way on Saturday, would I be overly shocked if Clement tried the same thing? No, I wouldn't. But but I just think always comes across as Mr. Angry and Mr. Victimised to me.
You know, I think it was all going like, and it's only two bad results, but I think it's kind of not exposed them in a sense, but I think it's
It showed
showed
weakness, is
showed
what I
weakness
would
in
say.
terms of, and I think that's the difference between the two managers. I think Brendan Rodgers is quite calm, and I just think over Ibrox over the last few weeks, it's been a bit kamikaze. And things like
And
that,
let's
and
be honest, the sensible Rangers fans will see right through that. The sensible, obviously, you'll get the knuckle draggers, but on both sides, by the way, um,
Mm.
that will toe the party line regardless. But I honestly think um, if if that was our manager, I wouldn't be happy.
Nah,
I'm the same why
as
you rising to it. Why
as I
you
said,
rising?
I just it's a throwaway comment, and for me, I just think Brendan Rodgers is confident in his team that they can go and get a result next week.
I
Sorry,
mean,
this weekend. Sorry,
actually, it
and
doesn't mention Rangers. That's what got me. It, did,
aye,
it didn't mention Rangers. It just said it'll be on fire here next week and hopefully we have a bit of fun.
I know
I mean,
exactly. I just think it's
really?
a comment that, and if you know, if Clement finds offence to that, then that's Clement's free will to find offence to it. But maybe
See,
that's just me. Maybe I'm
see,
looking it through great
see,
green tinted specs.
see,
But
be honest, Matt. See, be honest, Josh. When come on, come in, I thought this'll be interesting because he's no knowledge of Scottish football. I feared there might be another Van Bronckhorst that might come in and be professional. And but over the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've kind of thought, you know something, you're a foreign, you're falling for the same. Obviously, I'm going to assume somebody in the Rangers PR team has told him that, and
mhm.
and he's honestly he's he's went down the point of the gallery route to me.
And see, to be honest with you, I think both, Celtic, Brendan Rodgers and Floyd, come on. As I said, I think there's some certain stuff Brendan Rodgers has said this season that
Yeah,
not I'm going to say unprofessional, but haven't been the greatest thing to say. I think I know the
oh,
decisions at Tynecastle and stuff like that. At the time, I was a bit like, why do that? Because for me, you just put a potential risk him. No, obviously he did was on the touchline for the derby, but at the time I was like, why? I was quite annoyed. I'm not going to lie. And don't get me. I understand the refereeing that day was atrocious, but I think things like that just kind of makes me a bit like,
yeah. You can have a go at the ref, but you really have to stay incompetent.
especially when the games that were on the on coming up now. We had Livingston and then we had the Rangers game. So
Yeah.
I think both managers have said stuff that I just think is a load of nonsense. But I think over these last 2 weeks, I think Clement has said things that you would that I don't know just don't make sense, and it just seems a bit they're fumbling there a bit, and
I'll
Celtic
be honest,
seem
Josh.
calm.
I mean, that's isn't a Rangers podcast, but it's an observation. I'll say this to you. I think their supporters will will absolutely turn on Clement if we were to win the League and Scottish Cup. I'm not saying his job would be in danger, but see, to be honest, he'd lose a lot of goodwill.
I think
And
you get
see,
this. I think you get the summer, and I think depending on how they start the following season. But I think a lot of fans, that I've spoke to, and some fans are like, I don't know, I'm not bothered about it, but other fans are a bit like, still think he's a good. A lot of fans think he's a good manager, but just think sometimes he can come out and say stuff that you probably shouldn't say, but they just don't make sense. But I think it's been kind of telling with the two managers where they're at. Obviously, that sort of stuff, it might mean something, but at the end of the day, I'm just all about quite simple that way. I'm just about get on the pitch, and
yeah,
I want to see it on the stuff on the pitch, and
yeah. I
hopefully,
would
obviously,
think,
getting the result.
um, well, how would you feel if if our manager said that and I wouldn't? I'd be cringing, to be
To be
honest
honest,
with you.
if it's not even just Celtic Rangers managers, just any managers. I don't like when they come out with these stuff in the media. It just makes them look like bit
Yeah,
of an idiot at
it
times.
makes you look tin pot, and it's at the end of the day, it's you can't take it back because it's then on record.
Aye.
So
No, but I think that's just end off that. But I think it's just something that's been made out to be something that's really not. But I think it's going to be a massive game in Saturday. It goes without saying. Obviously, I think Celtic win. It's near enough wrapped up.
yeah,
It would take a collapse of major proportions for that not to be the case. But obviously, Rangers win. It opens it completely the bag back up again pretty much. And I think
yeah.
a draw is still with pretty much
A draw is
what.
fine, and I
Yep.
don't often say that about home derbies, but a draw is fine.
I think a draw you just need a draw which is probably thing with the same message. You just need to keep go to your
Actually,
2 games
actually, I
after.
know that I'm saying we want this, but there's a scenario, Josh, where you could draw the next two games and one still win the league.
Aye,
So,
I'd rather just get 9 points out of 9 and make it
yeah,
simpler.
I'm
Um,
just saying, Josh. I'm just
um,
saying.
but aye, I think it's going to be an important game in terms of for both the Celtic Rangers season and
Yeah, but I genuinely believe the fact that we've got the home crowd will
aye,
help us.
and I think
I, I,
it'll be interesting to see if we can.
I genuinely
It'll be,
believe that.
it'll be a massive test of Celtic team's metal again, and a lot of these tests they've passed with flying colours. So hopefully it's another case of that on
And
Saturday.
Rodgers hasn't lost the home derby,
Aye.
so fingers
So after
crossed
that,
we don't start on Saturday.
aye, I know. But I think it's all about just trying to keep focused on it, and
It's about
you know,
attitude. It's
aye, the
about
attitude. And this is the thing, another slight thing it niggles me about Celtic is sometimes I think we can kind of shit it out of tackles at times. You can't do that on Saturday. You need to be
no,
up for it for the minute
no.
one. I know it sounds pure 80s football, but that's just what these derbies can sometimes come down to.
You'll know exactly comes come the first 10 minutes.
Aye, no, that's what I
The
say the
first
other way.
10 minutes in a derby mean a hell of a lot,
And there's
especially
probably
this
got
derby.
there's probably going to be moments where me and you, Alistair, will be sitting at the football, and but you're going to just defend those moments properly, and obviously attack and score the
Yep,
goals. But it all sounds so simple, but probably just going to end it there because that's coming up for about 48 minutes. Just been a bit,
yeah.
just the beginning of the Derby previews. We've still got the podcast coming up on Friday. It should be uploaded on Friday, so you can watch that before the game or whenever you want to get a watch. I'll be joined by Nathan and obviously Alistair as well. Will be joining us for that, and we'll get into more depth in terms of the derby, which will be on Saturday. Thanks for joining us, Alistair.
No bother, Josh. No
Aye,
bother.
and we'll see you on Friday and after the derby for post match reactions. And until then, speeches later. Hail, hail.